IVM.
I'm not gonna say anything.
No,
why don't you say no?
It's
because
okay. Wait.
because
Then
it's
okay.
like,
How about
hi Farhad, and your reaction is it's every single time.
I'm so sorry, Sunetro. I need
So why
the
don't
mirror.
you start it? Why don't
Okay,
you start
okay.
this
How about I
conversation?
start it like
Yeah.
you would start it? All right.
Okay.
there. Is everything all right? It's all right, I guess. Life is all
I
right.
mean, yeah.
No. Oh.
In the sense that it's been very hectic. That's what. Like, no, it's not
Okay,
like it's not like life has.
But
some
hectic in
plans.
terms of like life's returning to normal hectic or actually?
No, as in work hectic. So
Because now in my case, again, working from home and all, like there was a certain level of rhythm we all had, right? Like, oh, I know when to eat lunch, I know when to get what done and all. But now it's becoming slowly the 8-hour work day is returning. And suddenly it's like 5 emails and I'm like zapped, oh my God, I had to send 5 emails. Or like, oh shit.
No, I've come to that point where there's this hybrid sense of work that's already begun where
Plus December, yeah.
Obviously there are days where I'm at home, but then there are days when I'm also going to work, and I love going to work. I absolutely love going to work, and the new so we moved to a new office, and it's like an open space, so the windows, basically you can see the airport from the window, so you can see planes flying off, like taking off.
Okay.
So it's right in front of, it's a nice view, and it's a nice vibe, so I love going to work. And it's almost, there are times when I'm at work, I feel all the things you're feeling, like, oh my God, I could have had lunch at home at this point of time. But when I'm at home, I'm like, shit, yeah, if I was at work, then this could have gotten sorted out so much easier, because I'm sending a message and they're sending me a message. It could have been a conversation. We could have explained things up. So that's what, like, I'm going through this feeling of flux, and I think it will last for another 2 weeks.
Okay.
But I mean, such is life.
Yeah.
But I'm happy about how things are moving. Like I'm getting to watch a movie every week.
Amazing.
It's I'm getting to go out.
Like a movie a week?
Oh,
a movie
yes.
A week?
It's like minimum one movie a week. Like I watched last night. Anyway, I don't want to get into what movies I watched, but yeah. But yeah, what about you?
Have you been updated with the news and stuff?
A little bit here and there, but
I want to talk about something it's not news, but it's like I'm surprised by how glaringly problematic I find it, but nobody else is really talking about it, which is the memes and the jokes around Shawn Mendes' sexuality. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I find I'm even guilty that some of them I find funny, right? But I just feel like, hey, where's the sensitivity now as a community where we are so sensitive about everything, right? And great,
about
be sensitive. I'm not saying
stuff,
being sensitive is wrong, but it's like
when it comes to someone else,
it's like, and it's being done by the biggest meme pages, the biggest gay meme pages that I follow that also are vocal about important social issues, and everybody's partaking in this. And my thing is, I haven't, can I tell you something? I don't even know what Shawn Mendes, is he a singer? Is he an actor? I don't know. I just know he's this part of this pop culture phenomenon. And the main thing I understand is the humor that he and Nick Jonas might be a thing. And then all the jokes are about how Priyanka Chopra finding out, and what's his girlfriend's name? Camila Cabello.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, even if it is true, it's especially because they broke up this week, which was in the news, and I just saw the flux of like humor around, like, oh, Sean leaving an orgy after, and then there's like a cum dripping kind of meme, and I'm like, only from his point of view, let's say he is straight.
Yeah, this is almost abuse. Like this is.
It is, and the level to which everybody not only brazenly makes fun, but like puts that kind of pressure on someone to come out if, let's say, he is gay, or if he's not gay. Either way, I'm just constantly finding it less and less funny now. And
Mm.
even though I'm very open and I'm being honest that I get it as a meme culture thing, and I have also found it like, ha ha ha, must be everyone's assuming this guy's gay, and obviously, even to me, he looks like a Twinkie, whatever, must be. But I just can't help but think from his point of view about how problematic this is.
I think this idea of labels, and this is exactly why I refuse to identify, and it's like, it's not like it's making a difference to anyone's life, but when someone asks me how do you identify, I never say I identify as gay. I say I identify as queer, because for me that's one, it's a different thing that, you know, it stems from this idea of reclaiming a word that used to be a pejorative, but it also comes from this idea that I do not want to go into specifics, because sexuality can't be specific. It is, I mean, I like, my first idol when it comes to sociology was Alfred Kinsey, and that's where the whole idea of sexuality being a spectrum came about, and so for me, that's why I say queer. I'm queer because what I'm doing is I'm trying to say that I'm not A, B, C. I'm just not straight, and the rest is my experience, and it's a fluid experience.
Sure. And it's just, for me also, all of this is coming on the heels of, and again, not to compare because they are apples and oranges, what I'm about to put beside each other, but I just saw the kind of furor against Dave Chappelle with his special, and how everybody was so visibly agitated and vocal. And we both spoke about how, okay, we get it, but like, I wasn't offended by the special. You know, we had that little conversation, and then something like this to happen, and literally everybody is partaking in this Shawn Mendes to kitna gay hai type humor, and I just feel like, how is it so convenient?
I don't think we can. No, but here's.
I'm not comparing. You know, not comparing.
Yeah, we can't put those.
And
there are people who are killed for being trans, and this is.
I'm just saying the reaction of the community. It's not about what the stimulus is. I'm not saying this is about Dave Chappelle or Shawn Mendes. I'm saying, how can we as a community be so agitated by a certain thing, but still take part in a kind of a humor zeitgeist right now? You know, this Shawn Mendes is gay humor has been going on right from the time he put out a video of him kissing Camilla, and that became like a 4-5 days of memes. He suddenly they were walking on the street, that became like something. He met Joe Jonas, that became a thing. And I can't help but constantly put myself in his shoes, which I can't, but you know what I mean. I can't help but wonder the kind of pressure that puts on your relationship. Let's say he is maybe, I don't know, maybe he's bi. I don't know. I don't even want to speculate, right? It's just amazing how we can be so incredibly crass or blatantly do something wrong, and at the same time, when something wrong happens to us, we are so quick to get.
No, so that's what I think we need to. So we need to de-align both of those conversations when something wrong happens to us, and that's where the question of
what's the wrong
equivalents come into mind. But I definitely agree with the fact that if we are, as a community, we don't like labels, and we are clearly ushering into an age where we want to squash labels, and if labels are what have harmed our community for so long, why are we doing that too? Why are we sort of adding fuel to that fire when it's someone else, and when it's
it's brazen. I just see like
at some level it is homophobic. It's almost like this gleeful, unabashed sort of smile of saying that, okay, so he is not straight anymore, so it's almost like okay, so now he's not that anymore. There's some kind of like
almost into one person.
There's something vile about it. There's something hateful about it, and that's what I kind of don't.
And then he's just making a living, right? Again, I'm literally right now also, I know, so it's weird I'm talking so much about Shawn Mendes when I barely know anything about his discography or career or whatever.
But I want to ask one thing. Do you think speculation and speculation about someone's sexuality is wrong?
Yeah, it is. Because we are so personal about our journeys, right? And then to think about like how, okay, just because this person is in the limelight or in the spotlight in any way or that, I don't think this is the kind of discourse that should happen based on something. Let's why okay, he's gone through a breakup, yeah. We are totally disregarding.
Forget about Shawn Mendes. I'm saying
okay,
just speculation about someone's sexuality. Just say, so where
I'll
do you
say
think
keep
this
it to
person,
yourself.
where do you think this
I do
lies?
it all the time. Is this guy? Is he not? But to go to the again, okay, if it's not about Shawn Mendes, I feel like it's fine to speculate, but to make a whole ass mockery and make it again, you can't. Even the biggest, your Saint folks, your pumpkin spice bussy, whichever the biggest Instagram pages that on the same day of like we recently Trans Awareness Day went by and they did the most touching posts and all of that. But at the same time, I don't know. I couldn't help but feel very like, hey, this is so duplicitous, or it's so, like, what are you doing?
How
like
about
this?
what if someone told you that it's actually Shawn Mendes' PR team who's doing this?
Then okay, I get it. This is like
and I don't know whether
juicy,
it is.
What's his name? Yeah. This is like what's his name? The juicy guy. The one who staged his own homophobic attack.
The same. This one's
whatever
brother.
His name. Juicy. I just know something juicy.
Jussie Smollett.
Juicy Smollett. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? When you read the news first, oh no, like, a homophobic attack. This still happens to a
And I'm not, by the way, I'm not saying that's what it was. I'm just saying, I've also been in close proximity of, I'm not saying Hollywood, but like, the industry here, to know the kind of shenanigans,
stunts. I get it.
that people like, just things that have been done. It's amazing. Like, anyway, we digress. That's the news for today.
Yeah,
but there are more interesting things that we are going to talk about, and we are going to talk about that right after this break.
Let's do it.
Eventually, you'll see the end of your childhood,
get accustomed to womanhood,
enjoy the experience of sisterhood,
might get to wifehood,
or not, choose motherhood,
or not. You'll learn to define your personhood,
earn a livelihood,
change the neighborhood,
and get rid of the falsehood that life post-academia is easy.
So join me, Ritasha,
and me, Ayushi,
on a journey from station starting point
to station, what now?
Next station, Pudin station, and hopefully, Agla station, adulthood.
Fresh episodes out every Thursday.
Hi, Sunetro, are you feeling sexless?
Hi.
Let's jump into this topic.
No, I'm not. As of now, I'm not.
Okay.
As of now, I've been on a horny sort of like really like raging hormone sort of a space to the point that like I kind of went back to my pre-pandemic hookup spree just a couple of days back, but yeah, like but
I did define a spree. I'm inquisitive. What's a spree?
I mean, I went for a vacation and I had sex with people I had never met before. Like I met on like the Diwali vacation, So this is back of but I've been through a sexless sort of pretty much a couple of months, I think 2 months of sexlessness where it was a mix of everything. I think that's what we need to uncover. What does it stem from? So what are you going through?
Well, I don't know how to describe this because, if I had to say it, my horny now is in an echo chamber deep within me. It happens. Like, if I get horny now, I still don't act on it. Like, there were phases. When I was leaving Bombay, I remember was my last horny spurt, where, I'm about to leave the city, so let me just have sex with all my fuck buddies before I go. And I remember doing a lot of that. And then when I came to Pune, sure, there was a slight spike again in my, because, new city, new boys and shit. But I don't know, like lately, I'm just so sad. We had an episode on porn addiction. We had done an episode on just general, and I remember talking about how I'm addicted to masturbating so much. But now it's reached a place. I've reached a place that I'm not even masturbating. I'm horny, but I don't act on it. I always joke about this, but like Grindr, Tinder are like opening fridge at 2 a.m. in the night for me, where I know nothing is there, but I just open it and I leave, I'm not.
So where is it stemming? Like, what is it that are you right now? You just don't want to engage with someone, and it's too much work. Is that what it is?
It's too much work. It's too much work.
Because I felt that.
Even if it's like if I have to give someone directions to my house, I find that too much work.
Like,
you know what I mean?
For me, in fact, so here's the thing: the act of sex for me is all about joy. Like it has to be. I've come to a point where I don't want anything less than that. That's the like bare minimum. And if I anticipate that it's going to be, this is obviously coming from a point of, I am seeking sex, so sexlessness is not a starting point. But if I've made a whole rationale of, okay, so now I'm going to hook up with someone, if my fuck buddies are not available, it's going to be someone new. It immediately goes into the space of what are the things that I need to do, because there are things that I like. I have to tell this person this is what it is like. And
first of all, isn't that only tiring? That I don't mind just meeting someone. I'll tell you, I had a hookup. It wasn't even a hookup because it was a contact-free hookup. It was, I don't know what got into me. I was in the thick of this feeling horny, but I don't want to have sex, but I don't want to. So I literally started chatting with someone who was like 4 minutes away from my house. He was kind of cute. And he was like, do you want to hook up? And I said, I don't want to hook up, but I don't mind just mutual masturbation. And that also I meant no contact, not like you joke me off, I'll joke you off. Is it okay if we just masturbate? Like just show up, sit, I'll jerk off, you jerk off. That's it. It's something I've never done. It's definitely, I already know it's going to be something of an experience or whatever. And I quite liked it. I quite liked it. How detached it was,
less hassle.
It was less hassle. It wasn't like, oh my God, douche nahi kiya, ye nahi kiya, oh no, ye blowjob, and oh, okay, when is he going to leave now? Oh, you can't find the place. No, actually, wo junction se right lena hai. None of that. None of that, top, bottom, none of that bullshit. I was just like, it was easy. But then what I feel is one of the reasons why I wanted to discuss this topic is why is feeling this kind of like, this need to not put in any effort, why is it becoming so easy to do that, and why am I doing it more?
But I do feel like it's not a bad thing. I think we should allow ourselves that. I think there is a fundamental problem. There used to be times when I would not feel like it. And I used to feel guilty, not guilty, but I used to feel, okay, so clearly there's something wrong. If my sex drive isn't like, raging at a particular level and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like we need to be able to, we should allow ourselves that space where, it's like we don't eat. There are times when like we go off meat, right? Like, and we let ourselves purge. It's okay if we allow ourselves that. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. We should
do not eat meat. Is that what you said?
Yeah, every now and then.
See, but that's the thing I'm saying, right? I understood it till it was in phases. That this is a phase. It's happened before. It goes away after a while. It's not something I'm like, oh no. But now it's like the duration of these phases is becoming obnoxiously long, where, oh, okay, now it's been 3 months. And I'll tell you what is more compounded about all of this is where now it's not even like, pehle, when it used to be a phase, acha, chalo, at least sexting to chalu hai idhar udhar, porn is there, whatever. But now even those things don't excite me. I'm not like all the time excited to like anything. And it's just, and I remember so many times when the pandemic was, we were in, come March or April, we had so many conversations where we are so excited to be intimate again and just have human touch and human, some sort of interaction. But that just was a very small burst of feeling. Now I just feel like, do I want to? I don't know. It's too much work. And I don't even, that's the thing. I'm not saying it's too much work to feel sexual. It's just that I am okay functioning at this, and this okayness to function at a sexless level is constantly making me feel a little like, whoa, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean?
So if you had to have sexual contact with someone where it was just effortless, like literally, no clothes off, and just, things that we did when we were teenagers, like rubbing things on top of things, and would that be suddenly like a great proposition, for example, where you don't give a fuck about the manners and the...
I've noticed again, if I can use the word spike again, but the only time I suddenly feel a little titillated is, and I don't know if it's my natural clock that's doing this or what, but it's when I find someone interesting now, who I'm excited to talk to and all. Then again, oh my God, I hope I meet this person. I'm willing to put in the effort. But somewhere again, this is becoming one of those conversations where as I'm talking to you, it's starting to make sense to me about what is it that I've been feeling for the past couple of weeks. But that's what's happening, which is if someone is naturally interesting and fun to talk to, and I am willing to like kind of put in the effort to even talk to, right? I'm okay with address and come and let's sex and sex and all of that. But it's just, those are becoming rarer to come by. So it's like it's like school mein kya tha, directly proportional, indirectly proportional. It's like that. The more I just feel like, there are no interesting people out there, the more okay I'm becoming being sexless, And then the moment there is someone interesting, suddenly I'm feeling very like, again, sexual and horny and all of those things. So
basically you just are okay to expect more from sex. You're expecting, I'm not saying you're expecting a relationship. What I'm saying is you're expecting sex, sure, but like you're expecting a smile on your face after that. You're expecting a conversation that makes you feel good, that makes you feel
I want
nice.
The sex to be as worth it,
like
as
not
the preface, you know what I mean?
Not purely transactional. You don't want it to be
exactly.
purely transactional.
Exactly.
And if the prospect promises that, then you're looking forward to it.
I am in a lot of ways, because I would be stupid to say that I've been inert. I don't want to use the word inert, but you know what I mean? I have been there. When again, I was going through a heavy bipolar phase. That time is the first time through medication I realized that's what sexlessness is. I know I'm not that right now, where I'm just numb, internally. I'm not that. But it's just my I guess my drive, if the conversation is sex, my drive has entirely changed gears now. It's not become like the agenda is not to orgasm and just a release and, a quick fix or pleasure or whatever.
You're looking for a high.
I'm looking for a couple of things together that make sex also worth it. But those are rare to come by, because obviously, how they are almost like unicorns now. The smart and the funny and the witty and not that again. Sometimes when I say all of that, I just feel so full of shit, because I wonder if I'm smart and witty to other people, right? But I read my Grindr chats and I am. I really am. Every window I try to bring something, I still struggle with, dude, nothing much, bored, what's up with you? In bed, you. And I'm like, those are kill words for me now. You know what I mean? That's a deal breaker for me. If you say NM, sup, NM bored, sup with you. These are conversation killers for me. You know how 10 years ago it was haha lol was the conversation. Like haha lol it marks the end of a conversation. Now it's become nothing much bored. What's up with you? And I'm like, okay, what do you want me to say? You're bored and I don't want to be
sure, like how do you want me to respond to that?
Yeah. And that's everybody, dude. Sometimes I read people whose bios are so interesting and so nice, but the conversation with them, I don't know if it's the pandemic that's done that to them. I don't know if I should see that as a deal breaker and all. But it definitely, I just, if they are blah, I just don't want to. I
have a theory. I have a theory about overall. I think on Grindr and Tinder, obviously, conversations have taken a plummet in terms of how interesting they are. And I have a theory about this, because I feel like everyone is still wondering whether this is going to happen, whatever is being tried out. So everyone's put their expectations so low that
Sorry, when you say this is gonna happen,
like something's gonna happen between person A and person A and person B. And because the expectations are so low, the effort is also really, really low. So which is why I know I start conversations and then I don't complete conversations. I know that, because there are times when I know it's a weekday, I just don't have time to have sex on a weekday. I have time to have sex on a Saturday and a Sunday. And if I have a conversation closer to a Saturday or a Sunday, then I'll be like at it. But other than that, I know that I can be, call it obnoxious, call it whatever. I know that I'm guilty of that, where I don't complete conversations and I'm okay for it to wither out. And these are, again, interesting profiles, interesting, their descriptions are interesting.
And now what level are we reaching in this video game, right? Because I'll give you an example. I started chatting with a boy I found so cute. I literally was just enamored by his smile. Okay, he had like 5 pictures, and he's one of those people. I matched it on Bumble also. I matched it on Tinder also. We spoke on Grindr also. And literally his office is like 2 minutes away. And I saw like he had 5 pictures everywhere, and in all 5 pictures he was smiling. And it just was the kind of smile that I was like, I want to get to know you. I love your smile, and your smile says so much about who you might be as a person. This I went on a date, and it wasn't a date. It was his office has just opened up, so now 3 times a week he's 2 minutes away from my house. And one day we were like, okay, we've chatted enough. You want to meet? We went out, we met, had a great time, chitty chatty. And after that, how do I explain this? Things I feel are moving by just a degree, and it's making a world of a difference. So let me give you an example. Earlier, if you ghosted someone, right, you just cut contact. So let's say in this scenario, I had a great time, we met, but nothing, we just did not follow up after that, right? Now it's the cases where we met up, we had a great time, pre-meeting up, we were chatting and it was great, and everything seemed that it should amount to something, whether it's a date, whether it's sex, I don't know, anything, that it culminates into something. But we met, and now it's like we just continue chatting, but we don't make any effort to meet up again, to anything. And then I'm just like, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Because what's the end goal here? And sometimes I don't want to be that.
Everyone's still wondering what's the end goal. And more often than not, I don't know whether you're guilty of it. I'm definitely guilty of it. It's not about me figuring out what my end goal is. I'm wondering what the other person's end goal is. Like,
see, but that's the thing. I don't even want to use the term end goal, right? Because that means then I'm expecting something. I'm going without expectations.
What's the next? What's the next pit stop?
Because see, post meeting up, if all our conversations for a while at least, it was so nice meeting you. It was so this. There are still, hey, what's up? What you up to? How you doing? Hey, but nobody is making an effort. Or let's say I did once bring up, hey, do you want to meet? And it's like, oh, actually today is my non-working day, so I'm not in the area. So I was like, sure. Then the next time he was there, but I was out. I was not around. I was busy with something. And then that's it. That's all the effort we are willing to put into. And then it's like,
okay, here's also another thing that I do feel. I don't think that people stop caring about making an effort. I think people stop trying for fear of being perceived as the one who's trying
needy.
Too hard. Yeah, needy, clingy. I know I do that a lot. I know that I've obviously gotten better over the years, where I like, there is no ego for me when it comes to like reaching out to someone and saying, hey, why don't we do this?
Same.
But if let's say the person has something, cancels once, cancels twice, then after that I won't make an effort, because then I know innately I go into that whole thing of, okay, so is this person is this person not okay meeting me, then they would have made an effort. So why is it like this?
Sure.
So maybe
I fully 100% relate to everything you said right now, because I'm exactly there. Where I wear my heart on my sleeve, even if I have a crush on someone, see, but that's the thing, right? Because, and I'm sure even you feel that, is we've reached an age where we are very good with processing someone who might not be interested in you, even if you kind of crushed on them. I am at least. I'm okay with like, hey, I don't expect everyone to like me and love me back and or put in as much as an effort if it's an effort at all. I'm okay with like, oh my God, you're so fucking cute. I would love to do this all the time. And then if the person is still, we'll meet sometime, not today, not this. Even I know 3-4 times ke baad, okay, I've done my bit. And I'm okay with like, it's not like I'm sitting and licking my wounds after that. I'm okay. I did my bit. Okay, ho gaya. But it's just this, what's, again, to our overarching topic, it's just when that is put on the same table as all these other things I'm feeling, which is, okay, I'm okay with being detached in an easy way. I'm okay with being this. I'm okay with being that. And then on top of that, I'm okay with not having sex at all, is really makes me feel like, oh, right now I'm on the precipice of something that might mean that what I do over the next 1 year is probably going to define how I am, my relationship with sex for the next 10 years or 20 years. So whatever I need to do needs to be now. And I don't know what that thing is, but I definitely feel that okay, I'm going in a new direction sexually in life. And this is such a weird topic to talk about, because let's talk about the opposite of sexlessness, which is horny, right? For lack of a better word. If I feel horny, Sunetro, in that moment, I literally want to have sex that moment. Like I get that horny. Like, not that I'll go hump a fucking tree or something, but like, you know what I mean? I get horny also. I still do. But it's just the effort always kind of outweighs the horny lately, is what I'm saying. Like, it's just easier if I keep it to myself that I'm horny, and then it's a new day tomorrow and I might not be this horny, and then next thing 2 weeks have gone by, and then I'm suddenly like, oh, when was the last time you hooked up with someone? And whoa, you're not making an effort to meet anyone. Whoa, you are just like being so nonchalant about all of this. And it's that's where the questioning stems from, that should I be, should I? Oh, but okay, tell me something. I want to ask you something. Have you, if there's been a phase, what's the longest it's been?
Like 2 months. And I go through I go through these phases quite often, because I go through ups and downs when it comes to my moods. There are times when I just like go through this whole thing of question, and none of that has to do with anything even close to the context of sex or the context of attraction. It's about, I think a large part of it stems from how I feel about myself at that point of time, how much esteem I sort of allow myself, I see within myself, and very often it's at a pit's end. So in those moments, I just don't think that I am fun. I'm no good. I am not going to be good company at that point of time. When my closest friends want to meet up that time, I say, you know what, I want some space. And it's just that I go through those ups and downs, and I kind of climb out of it. I sort of get over it. And when those phases really, really hit hard, that's when I don't see any I don't see an end of to this. To like at that moment, I see that I don't think anyone can make me feel better, and in fact, coming in close proximity with someone would just make me feel worse about myself. Yeah.
In fact, I'm so glad you said something which is friends, right? I've noticed something which is, lately I've been the one making plans with friends, which is something so new for me, because again, since hookups and gay guys are not in the picture at all right now in any way, I suddenly find myself okay, this Sunday, let me have lunch with this one. Let me go for a movie on Saturday with this one. And these are all my friends, actual friends who, not only because of the pandemic, but over time, everybody, we all are reclusive, and I'm not meeting anyone, and I'm in a hole right now, and I don't want to be. So it's funny that I can't help but think that out of this sexlessness is arising a need for me to be more social with my actual people in my life also. And I know they are connected. I know they are connected in some way, because lately I find myself constantly, like Matrix is coming out in December, but I already made plans with, okay, are you in? And I am never that person. I am never that person to take charge, take lead into like making a plan and, okay, sure, that's just Matrix. But even if it's like,
yeah,
I know, that's okay. It's easy to make a movie plan. It's just what I'm
like
trying
a dinner,
to say is,
for example.
yeah, whether it's a dinner or even like a get together, like, hey, this one, oh, these two have not met in so long. Let me call both of them. Like I don't know where it's coming from, but I know it's something to do with.
For me, it's the opposite, where if I am not feeling like sex, it's more often than not, I'm possibly in a phase where I'm not even feeling social. Actually, my sexlessness stems from me not wanting to be social. A large part of that. Like, it's just that I don't want to meet people, anyone close to me.
If you ask me, my answer is so grey, actually. If you had to ask me, since when have I had this echo, if I can call it, an echo inside me of sexlessness? Because let's say, I can tell you, I've had sex maybe 6 times this year. In this entire year, 6 to 7 to 8. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to put a number on it. Close to 10 times. But if I had to say, I've still been sexless. What I'm trying to get at is, sex has happened to me this year. Sure, 1-2 times it was orchestrated, which was Grindr, and I spoke to someone and, okay, let's meet. But literally, if I still had to answer, what did that happen because I was horny, or I was just doing it to compensate for what I'm feeling? No, I literally think that the last 1 year, I can say I've been feeling sexless. Sex has happened in between, and it has been great. I'm not crying. I'm not.
But as opposed to
making an effort, right, to actually hook up. To give you an example, like my favorite moment this year was a friend who I've met twice, been on dates, and this time when I happened to be in Bombay, he happened to be in Bombay, and we both consciously made, and we've been chatting for 3-4 years, we never hooked up, and that's what made it so special, that when we hooked up, how often does it happen where you've spoken to someone for so long now?
But then you did make an effort, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. So then
it was
how is it
easy.
different?
It felt effortless. It felt effortless.
It felt effortless.
It felt effortless with him. It was special. It was. I'm also kind of giving context to this because I know he's an avid listener of this show. So I really don't want him to take it in a way where, oh, I was sexless, but I had sex with him. No, not at all. It was one of the highlights of my year, just being passionate with him, intimate with him. But if you ask me in this year, if I had to pick moments where I was like, oh my God, I'm so horny, I'm feeling my testosterone is all this again off the charts or
like
whatever.
Just a release,
like I don't think I've actually wanted to like hook up or like anything this year, like consciously. It's happened, and there are zero complaints that it's happened. But it's just like, if you had to ask me, I'm very blah about sex happening now, is what I'm trying to
No, that's what I don't think you're blah about sex happening. I think you're blah about sex as a pure transactional come release happening.
Exactly.
And
you're right.
Clearly looking for a little more, and it's
yeah. And I'm saying I don't want to speak on your behalf, but at least I am one of those fuckboy kind of, has sex, no strings attached, kind of ghost people. I am one of those people. I feel terrible saying it, but that's who I am, and even I try. I know it's a shitty thing, but I do find myself being that person sometimes that, hey, I don't want anything beyond a hookup, right? But I did notice, I did notice this particular case, this boy that I'm talking about, who I did chat with for 4-5 years, and then to see it culminate into sex, it really kind of was an eye-opener. And after that, I've not wanted to have sex at all. After that, I've not wanted to have sex at all, only because it's not often in my life where it has happened where I made an effort where if this person wanted to chat every day, I'm down to chat every day. Not that we spoke every day, but throughout the last 4-5 years, in some way or the other, technology-wise, we found ways to be in each other's life constantly. I know what's going on in his life. He knows what's going on in my life, not only because we chat, but he listens to the podcast, whatever. But just to know that, wow, sex can be so nice if you actually have a solid bond before you actually.
And you don't want anything lesser than that.
Yeah, but then what am I setting myself up for, right? Because again, we talk about hookup culture.
So here's the thing. I mean, the average person has sex a lot less times than we go for come release kind of sex. So that's what it really is. Now, if you're looking for frequency, then maybe that's just not it. Like I'm still at this point where, so I'm at least, like for me, it's less about strangers and more about fuck buddies who I am comfortable with. But I'm okay with, a come release, wham bam, thank you ma'am, sort of a sort of a thing every now and then. But there are times when I wanted to I want there to be conversations after that. I want, and I realize very much that that's not something that can be possible every weekend, every Saturday, Sunday. It's going to happen once a month, for example. So it's just, if there is, what they say, you can't rush quality. I mean, sometimes if you're trading quantity for quality, then the frequency will take a hit. So maybe it's that.
But that's what, the jadedness we both, or all of us feel collectively. We all are complaining about, we joke about how there is no more Mr. Right out there. Everything is just a blur. We just move from one hookup to one fling to one fuck buddy, and nothing concrete we are not really working towards anything concrete anymore. We do. I don't want to entirely disregard it, but you know what I mean. Like it's a part of our pathos as the community. And then to think about that, I will wait for something meaningful and the right person or someone who makes me feel all those things. I just feel like, oh wow, I'm finding a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, I can't plan that much. Like
it's not.
And also, we are just as a closing statement from my end. Yeah. I think we are still in that state of flux where I refuse to set my mind on what I'm looking for, because the world is still figuring out what the world wants to be. So once that happens, then I'll put a little more, I'll let the cement dry a little more. Like right now, I'm keeping it wet.
You remember Sunscreen song by Baz Luhrmann?
No.
Baz Luhrmann had made a random song,
So,
basically one of the lines that was, I'm one of the people who will not know what I want to do with my life even at 45. And I feel like that's what this is. Like, I will never know what I want, but till then,
I had a pandemic to it, so
yeah.
Sure.
Oh my God, totally. Amazing.
But yeah, I mean, it's okay to like we said, it's okay. I think there are multiple things that lead to this idea of sexlessness, lead to this idea of not wanting
again,
sex.
One of the reasons I only wanted to touch upon this is because it can be confusing, because it can be confusing in terms of, am I asexual? That had happened a while where I started. Of course, I'm not. I know fundamentally I'm not. Just solely because of the amount of sex I've had, I cannot. Even if I, it's not a choice, whatever. But I know someone out there might be feeling like, what is this feeling of inertness? But that's pretty much. That's how I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We'll get back at. In
final segment.
Yeah.
Do you wonder why China does the things that it does? Or want to know how we could improve online privacy? Or perhaps you're thinking about how we can kickstart India's economy? If you'd like to search for the answers to such questions, check out All Things Policy, a daily public policy podcast that covers everything from employment figures to aircraft carriers. Tune in from Monday to Friday for new episodes and fresh takes.
All right.
Do it. Lay it on me, Sunetro. No, you recommend. Come on.
Okay, my recommendation is a TV series. Again, I think you'll have to figure your ways to get your hands on it. But remember Chucky? There's a TV
Seed of
series.
Chucky? Like
no. Yeah.
Child's Play
like
Chucky.
So there's a TV show that's basically, it's called Chucky, and it centers around a queer kid, and it's such an interesting sort of commentary, because it goes through, it talks about how homophobia can be like a powder keg of just resentment and destruction, right? And imagine throwing someone like a Chucky into the mix with this one child who's being abused by an entire community, and you kind of side with that child when all these murders start happening. It's almost like you feel like, yeah, they had this coming, but then you're siding with the villain over here. So it's a very modern, interesting, inclusive, very sharp and innovative take on the old Chucky. Deliciously campy, very, very fun. So please go watch it. I think I was pleasantly surprised.
Definitely.
So Chucky.
Chucky,
the TV
great.
series. Yeah, what's yours?
I checked. I watched something called Resident Alien TV show.
I love it. Oh my god, it's so
okay. First
cute.
of all, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Alan Tudyk.
Tudyk. Yeah.
Tudyk. Okay.
He's so funny.
Here's the thing. I've seen his movies before, and I was like, okay, this guy is so funny. But when I heard about this show, it's pretty obsolete. Nobody knows about it, and
it's quite a big hit outside. Like I'm really surprised that it's not on one of the OTT platforms yet. Yeah. It's 10 episodes, but I'm like 8 episodes in, and I'm constantly blown away. And it has some Schitt's Creek type of warmth to it. Yeah.
I don't know what
small
it is.
Town. Did you feel transported to that town and wonder what would happen if I lived in this kind of small town?
And just the whole premise is so like a one-line premise, right? Where there's an alien, he ends up he's taken a form of a man, and only one child can see him. That's pretty much the plot. But I just found it so fresh, the writing, the humor. It's constantly quirky. It's constantly like I'm constantly like, the more I watch it, the more I'm like, wow, I hope there's a season 2. Wow, I hope there's a season 2. There is.
Yeah.
I know. So Resident Alien,
I second that.
It's very fun. It's very cute. It's just a cute show.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a little fuzzy. I've been feeling a little fuzzy watching that kind of humor. So that's my recommendation for this.
All right. So that's it for this week. We'll see each other and hear each other next week.
Take care. Thanks.
Take care.
Thanks for helping me process shit. Okay.
Always a pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, it's been a great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Storytellers and Storytellers, we need some conversation with Siddharth Anand Kumar, VP and producer at UD Films. They talk about the impact of Saregama's independent production studio on Indian filmmaking. On the first episode of Raw and Organic, host Kunal Rajput is joined by actor Rohit Saraf. They talk about the stereotypes of fitness in movies, his idea of movement, how challenging it is to physically change for roles, and if given a chance to plan his own workout, what would it be? On Paisa Vaisa, Anupam Gupta is joined by Prashant Sawant, co-founder at Catalyst Wealth. They discuss the various mistakes people make in stock trading. On All Things Policy, Aditya Ramanathan and Suyash Desai discuss China's nuclear strategy and military modernization. And on Say No to Drama, Chetna decodes the drama around being addicted to scrolling on Instagram and how to quit that. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Also, do check out our various YouTube channels. You can catch them on IVM Podcast/YouTube. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors on the network this week: Cred, Bank of Baroda, Quota, CoinSwitch, Kuber, Play Coffee, Intel, and Oxfam India. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Have you ever wondered where the business world is headed? How the ways in which we create, market, and sell to consumers will evolve? Or if we'll ever go back to wearing pants while working? For answers to all of this and more, tune into Advertising is Dead with me, Varun Dugirala. Every Tuesday, as I talk to entrepreneurs, leaders, and change makers from across business, media, marketing, and beyond. You can catch all episodes of Advertising is Dead on the IVM Podcasts website, app, or wherever you get your podcasts from.